Today is Saturday, October 8th, 2016. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is the listener feedback show for Survivor Millennials vs. Gen X, Episode 3.
That's right, 3 shows a week here. The recap, the interview, and then the listener feedback show where it's your turn to weigh in with your thoughts, predictions, your insights, your personal experience. We got a little bit of all that. How many we got?
22.
22 Survivor super fans had something they wanted to say about episode 3 or how the season as a whole is going. Even if it's just a little quick note. And we've got it all here in this show. We're jam-packed. You ready to go?
Let's do it.
All right, let's crank it with Pete.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy. This is Pete from Boston calling here. And I gotta say, baby, with this season, woo! Yeah, this was another epic episode of Survivor. Na 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 na. Hey, cocky Paul, he's left the building, baby. See you later, Paul. That's what you get when you have a big ego up your head, and then boom, you're blindsided, and it's delicious, baby. So let's get into it. Man, that was rough at the beginning with Zeke and Adam there, because Hannah, you gotta know when to put your guard down here and shut up. I mean, I like Hannah, she's from Boston here, but man, you don't bother Zeke and Adam who are at the bottom and frustrated, and then now you irritated them even more. Bad gameplay by Hannah, but watch out, Zeke is the player to watch for. I guarantee he's going to somehow maybe either find an idol or work some big-time counter-alliance. And Figgy, what else is new? But at least we didn't see too much of her flirting with Taylor. And it'll be interesting to see if David somehow works with Taylor and Figgy. Because come merge time, David is a gamer. I think we got to watch out for him. CC, that was tough to watch in the challenge. I mean, I like that she was taking her time, but at the same time, if she had simply dropped it, she could have made it across and could have let just Chris do all the lifting there. But it was too little too late, and they almost had a big-time comeback. Great challenge, but hey, kudos to the Millennials, and glad and the probes didn't give in to their little proposition. And then I love how Jessica, Sunday, and I guess even Lucy did a counter-alliance with Ken, David, and Cece, and they blindsided Paul and the 2 other studs, Chris and Brett, who, wow, were completely shocked. There's no question about that. But it was delicious. I love this game, and I love this season. It's going to be epic all the way through. I know it. So what do you guys think, guys? Think now David all of a sudden is at the top, and he's a gamer? We'll see. Or is it these older women now, these moms? Because I'm starting to really like Jessica. Not so much Lucy. Now it sounds like she's going to be the new Paul. And you know what happens when you're a dictator? See you later. And in closing, this is for Lucy. Where is my reflection going? Who she is inside? For Mulan. Had to throw that in there, Joanne and Stacy. Want to know what everyone else thinks. Take care.
I think you have a beautiful singing voice. Thank you for blessing us with that, Pete. I love Pete's energy to help get it going there. Yep. So what about Pete's question? Is David a gamer who's in control at the top of the new alliance of 6?
David is not in control.
Nope.
of himself.
Not even of himself. Yeah.
Much less the game.
Right.
However, doesn't mean he won't keep falling into things that, advance him.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that he keeps, trying. But if he goes too hard, then it could bite him. But I actually think they're in a better position. I don't know if the girls are in a better position, but I think they feel, because there's 4 of them, that they rule.
The Moms Alliance?
And that Dave and Ken need to just toe the line.
Toe the line. That's
Exactly.
right. It's just going to be hard for Ken again because he really wanted to be elected leader of the tribe.
Actually, I'm not sure that they wouldn't vote David out before Brett and Chris even, because they like Brett and Chris. So if they show that they're with them, then and they believe it, then they could totally turn that around again if they choose to.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they were willing to take on that risk, given what Paul said in the interview, right? That they're pretty sure Dave's got an idol. So somehow that factored into the dynamics. I have to think that.
We really enjoyed the interview with Paul.
Yeah, we're going to hear from...
Especially once we got started.
At least one other person, yeah.
Oh,
well,
okay.
we have our standard questions, but yeah, we got some feedback on that. I think a couple people commented on it, so...
Yeah, we all had fun.
And I think that Moms Alliance is in control, but I still think they made their timing was wrong. It was really wrong, and they certainly should have got rid of Cece. Now, the way Survivor works is one of 2 ways, right? One is, hey, there's some challenge coming up that Paul would have been perfect for, that he would have more than likely thrown the balance in your favor. Or in the case of me saying they should have gotten rid of Cece, it'll be something tailor-made that she's going to do well at. So there's just these counter events that happen. But I can't help but think that were I there on that tribe, I would have been advocating hard to get rid of her, and I hope I wouldn't have overlooked the concern of the Moms Alliance, given what Paul had said.
So what's your prediction for how Brett and Chris will react? Will they try to pull the girls back in, or will they try to pull David and Ken over, and then it would be 4 men against 4 women?
Yeah, they're gonna be butthurt pretty bad.
Because I still don't know why they wouldn't
gonna be
get rid
angry.
of Cece.
Yeah, they're going to be angry, and it's going to be hard for them to let go of it. Mm-hmm. They're going to be of the same mindset as what I was just describing, which is, how could you put us into position that we have to count on Cece again in a challenge, given everything you've seen?
I expect to hear more from Chris than even Brett. I kind of think Chris is really going to be upset.
Yeah, he's done good. With what we've seen, he seems to have done well with managing his intensity in the interactions.
Oh, he's done way better than I thought.
So he seems to be managing that through his confessionals.
However, he's not been really tested.
Yeah, this certainly is a test that's in effect as we go into the 4th cycle.
And he was like, Brett's like, well, it's too bad. And he's like, no, it's not. Get rid of Cece.
Yeah.
She doesn't deserve me.
Right.
And
no sympathy.
Yeah, so I'm sure he was
Brett's
very
good cop,
unhappy.
Chris is bad cop.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we got to cut the week. Get rid of it. All right, thanks,
Even
Pete.
though Brett's not a cop, but I get your meaning. I mean, Chris
Brett is a cop.
Chris isn't a cop.
But you're right, it was a metaphor.
Yes, I know.
Okay, let's check in with Jen and see what her thoughts are. Where's her head this week on how this season's going?
Hi everyone, this is Jen in California. Well, I don't have too much to say this week except for the fact that I'm really liking the way that both tribes are just mixing it up this season. That typical alliance of 6 isn't just set and ready to just steamroll predictably through the game. We're seeing the people in the middle of the tribes being flexible and not necessarily sticking with the ones that they chose at first, but moving back and forth between the high and the low people on the tribe in order to make decisions that they feel will best or place them in the best position to move forward as deep as they can. And I just find it exciting that they're not going with the predictable boot at this point. There's just that unpredictable element that we don't necessarily see in every season of Survivor. So I'm really enjoying this. Now, we're only in episode 3. Obviously, things could change, but I'm enjoying the season so far, and I can't wait to hear what everyone else has to say. Till next week, bye.
Thanks, Jen. Thanks for weighing in. So that's definitely a positive, is that people aren't playing by an old script. They're going moment to moment. Do you think that possibly suggests that Chris and Brett had not managed their connection, their alliance with Jessica and Sunday and Lucy properly so that they felt on equal footing? Why did the one little quip by Paul turn over the apple cart?
Because I believe Paul, they had said in an extra clip, both Sunday and Jessica had said, Paul had said to each one of them, "Oh, it's me and you in the final."
But that could be a
so
good
they
way
thought
of...
he would go with them, that he was theirs, that he wasn't as tight with Brett and Chris as he was with them,
Okay.
and that's what they were counting on. And then when he said that, like, oh,
just unwound everything.
you'll wish us well. Okay. Well, that's very revealing because we thought you were with us to the end, which is what you said.
But what does it say about their connection to Chris and Brett? How come there wasn't an interaction?
That they weren't in the final 2 or 3.
So maybe they haven't done as good a job as Paul was in the process of doing with building
Exactly.
alliances with...
Exactly. I think they built it
moms.
with Paul and each other. But
Okay, so maybe
it
they haven't
sounds
been
like
making
Paul was the one doing
their
that.
social game. Yeah.
Well, that's how it appeared. We don't really
Given
know.
the
but
data we have, that's
how
one
it appeared.
conclusion
Yeah.
to look at. All right.
And Paul told us how sweet Lucy is.
Mm-hmm.
That she can, have a little temper, but I expect most of them can.
Sure. You would imagine in those circumstances
Certainly,
you get to
I
see everyone's...
misjudged a lot of people, I think. Seems like all the people I thought would do the worst are doing really well.
There we go. Thanks for weighing in on that, Jen, with your thoughts. Next up, we got an email from WT from... We don't know where WT's from.
No, we don't.
Okay, from WT. Hello. If it's of any value to you, I have a system that helped me pick Michelle as the winner in season 32.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
There are 2
He
L's
put
in
2
Michelle.
L's.
Yes. There is so much downtime at camp that people who interface with the public in their day-to-day lives seem to have an advantage. Absolutely, because it's a social game. Yeah, I think you're spot on with that. With that analysis, the list might be Brett, who's a cop, Zeke, who's a financial salesman. I think, well, they say asset manager. I just took that to mean he was in finance in a company. So I'm not sure he's a salesman,
I don't
but he
really
certainly...
know what he does.
Finance people have to interact with a lot of folks generally in the company, for sure.
And I think that's Zeke's personality. He probably would anyway.
Michelle, who's a missionary recruiter, Figgy, who's a bartender, and Adam. I personally tripped up in my own analysis when I started the season because I thought Mari worked with a great many people and fans with her online business. Apparently, there seems to have been a lack of face-to-face transactions with her work, and it didn't translate over very well. I was particularly saddened by this because I was hoping to see Mari and Hannah build some sort of a girl power alliance.
Yep.
Well, and there was certainly a hint of that. I could see how you would be optimistic for that, given how things played out in the first
so was
episode.
I.
My other mistake was to write off Michelle as some sort of angst-ridden preacher's kid. Holy smokes, did you notice how she made a custom pitch to each player's self-interest, with Jay standing by as a witness? And the high-pressure sale to Hannah. Wow, that was impressive for sure. And in this episode, she seems to have lain low and let Figgy claim all the credit. What a power player. What else can she do? I'm waiting with bated breath to see more. Also, with Jess's paranoia about an all-male alliance, do you think she's floated the idea of an all-female alliance out to the Gen X tribe? I think that's guaranteed because they actually refer to themselves as the Moms Alliance. Mm-hmm. Was that in one of the extra videos, right? Yeah, pretty much sure that's the case. Okay, WT wraps up. At any rate, thank you again for making this podcast. Thank you, WT. Great email there. Next up, we got audio from BrandonA.
Hey, what's up, Joanna, Stacy, and Survivor fans? It's Brandon from Cleveland. To address something from last week, yes, I'm so thankful that there were other people in the side challenge with the USB of Mari, including my buddy Aaron. What's up, pal? Yeah. I was just way too high-pitched right there, but look, that's how excited I get at the prospect of Aaron having to pay another punishment. I can't help myself. I'm so excited. So have fun over there, Aaron, over there in South Korea, all the other people across these wonderful United States of America or across the world that's in this Survivor Side Challenge. Hope you guys have a wonderful time watching the rest of this season, and hopefully the rest of your USBs goes too, because I don't want to sing. getting into this episode. I really enjoyed it. I didn't think it was as good as last week. That's to be expected, I guess. I wasn't expecting an episode that was better than last week this soon anyway. I'm glad to kind of see Paul leave. I think we probably could have got more good TV out of him, but I don't think he was realistically a possibility of winning the game. I also like the fact that David was able to make something happen and kind of at least let it be known that with him and Cassandra to the other, the other women that's in that majority alliance to kind of flip the vote. Obviously, it seemed more so that it was Jessica and Sunday's and Lucy's call more than anything. But we'll see how that manifests itself. I'm still rooting for the Millennial tribe overall as a whole. I like more of those characters, so I'm glad that they won. It'll just be interesting to see where things go from here. I don't have too much to say. Going back to last week, I also realized on the feedback show, I also said liked it, and I'm very mad at myself for that. I'm not necessarily a master of the English language, but I know I shouldn't be saying that. So kind of a little bit embarrassing, but I'll get over that. Hopefully, Zeke and Adam can continue to do well. That Hannah interaction, oh my gosh, that was terrible. She could not get a clue. And I think maybe Zeke and Adam could have kind of went with the flow more and kind of just placated her and just answered or at least listened to her and then let her be, kind of internalized it the way Natalie did whenever Jeremy got blindsided. I think she could have done that, but I think they could have done that when handling her, but I really hated the way she handled it. I mean, wow. Like, I like Hannah, but wow, that was a really annoying moment. I can only imagine myself in that situation. Hope everybody enjoys the rest of their week and this next upcoming episode, and I'll talk to you guys next week, Pete.
Thanks, Brandon. Yeah, that's tough. And you've seen it, 2 more times? We've each watched the episode again, and you watched it again with me. So, Well, it's in keeping. She's just such a hot mess. I'm not sure how she's going to come out of that.
Well, I understand his point, too, though, because Zeke's older. He's 28. Hannah's a young girl. And I understand that mindset of, but I just have to say it right now. I can't handle it. I have to say what I have to say. And then you can, and needing that reassurance. And it could have benefited him to pull her back in and a little bit more, but I understand his frustration. Sometimes you just can't be the adult. So.
He topped out. He got to his limit and didn't have anything else to give. Right?
Exactly, and I understand that too. So, but okay. Up next, we have email from Tim in Youngwood, Pennsylvania. Hi, Joanne and Stacy. I don't get much chance to write, but I have never missed a podcast since you guys started a long time ago. I very much enjoy all the comments from you guys and all the great Survivor fans. Well, thank you. As a boomer, I don't have a dog in this fight between Gen X and the Millennials.
Sure you do. Probst has confused Gen X with the boomers.
Probst is a boomer.
Exactly.
Yeah. I would say that we have our first casting of an actual cartoon character in Taylor. This kid belongs in a Looney Tunes feature.
I like that.
Paul was closest to my age, and I initially had hopes for him, but they were dashed after about 5 minutes in the first episode. During the Recon Summit meeting, I'm pretty sure David made a crucial mistake. He thinks he is like Cochran, but if I was Cochran, I would be insulted. He is the most unreliable person out there. He wants to be in an alliance with anybody who walks by, but he seems the person most likely to turn. Mm-hmm. If I had been at the summit, I would have told the other tribe everything they wanted to hear. It would have been all lies, of course. You guys noted we missed day 9. I often wondered if they record a lot of confessionals on days like that so they don't show much at camp, because they would be always hauling different people off to a place where they could talk freely to the camera.
That's an interesting idea.
I like that.
Yeah.
I thought this challenge was definitely suited for the Millennials. They're a lot younger and generally more physically fit for something like the balance beam, while the Gen Xers have a lot of bigger guys and bigger women. It's not a realistic means of evaluating the generations for comparison's sake.
Fair point.
It didn't matter to me if either Paul or Cece got voted out. Neither of them have shown anything that would make you think they could win. Although in the short term, it might have been better to keep Paul because he is a little better than Cece in challenges. Usually, when they are still in the tribal game and not individual game, I've always thought the team with the stronger women has the advantage. I don't know which team has better females this season. What do you think? Finally, I envy Survivor fans who can pick who will be the ultimate survivor out of a pack of 20. When they get down to the final 4, I still can't do it. Best wishes to all. All right, thanks, Tim.
Yeah, thanks. Well, that's pure guesswork, Tim. Pure guesswork.
I guess I would have to say...
Who has the better females?
Well, definitely Cece's a wash.
Yep.
But the other 3 ladies, except Lucy's so short, she has some trouble, but she's very strong.
Yeah.
And Sunday even seems to do fairly well.
They've all acquitted themselves very well in the challenges.
And Jessica's done great at most everything, puzzles and physical stuff. But I'd have to probably give it to the Millennial girls. Those girls, even Figgy, Figgy carried that bag across there like it was nothing.
Yeah, well, she was working, but her and Michaela certainly did it, and it didn't really. It was nothing like the CC event for sure.
Yeah, I would have to give the strength to them, I think.
Again, kind of like what Tim was highlighting, it depends on the challenge itself.
Exactly.
But in terms of physical strength, maybe. I mean, Hannah's not got a lot going for her in terms of her coordination and everything, so they lost something with Mari. If they had chucked Hannah instead of Mari, then it would be easy.
I think Hannah's pretty strong physically.
She's done okay. She hasn't participated in them all, but probably not as bad as Cece, I guess. So on the whole, you'd give the advantage to the Millennials.
And both Figgy and Michelle. Now, if it was going to come up with where they're going to knock each other off with bags, I would definitely give it to Gen X.
Yeah.
But for most of the challenges.
Or this water challenge, which is probably reward, because we're going to get 2 challenges this week that's coming up.
Yeah, all of that will be a pretty equal.
We might get to see a little. Yeah, it's going to turn out to who's smarter about how they manage everything.
Well, and again, it's a one-on-one, so the bigger the woman, the Gen X women are a little bit bigger.
It's not an absolute one-on-one. There's lots of double, triple teaming that's happening too.
But we see them, trying to hold people back and that kind of thing. So
if it were one-on-one,
physical contact.
Yeah, it wouldn't be.
That's what I meant by
as
one-on-one.
Close. Yeah,
it's the physical contact, same as the pushing each other off the platform.
Be interesting. It'd be cool if it did it. I'd like to see if Lucy had functional strength in addition to her bodybuilding strength.
Find out this Wednesday.
Maybe we'll get some new insight.
Yeah, maybe it'll answer that question, Tim.
All right. Thanks again, Tim. And great to hear from you. We understand you're busy, but thanks for making time this week and getting that in. Next up, let's check in with Aaron. Brandon was just talking about Aaron. Let's see how Aaron's doing, what he's thinking about this season.
All right.
Oh, gross warning. There's a gross event in this audio. So if you have a queasy stomach, you might want to skip over.
I do.
Okay.
Hello, Joanne and Stacy. Hello, Survivor fans. This is Aaron from Busan, South Korea, calling in for episode 3. And yes, I did it. I actually got the vote up correct. I had Paul going, though I actually thought Paul was going to leave because of a sort of tribe swap twist that would somehow screw him over. And I thought maybe David would sell him down the river. Kind of happened, but not in the way I thought. And there is throw up next to me. Oh, ew. Oh, no, I stepped in. Oh, okay. Anyway, going to ignore that I did that. Anyway, it's been a pretty wild ride this season. It's been amazing watching the challenges, and I think I'm too distracted from this throw up, so I'm probably just going to cut this short. I need to wipe my shoes. Okay. Anyway, I'm so glad I got the 5 points. I'm doing well on JSFL. I have no idea what's going to happen next. This season is always keeping me guessing. And, I kind of thought it was odd for Paul to throw out that comment like he did. I mean, granted, I don't think it was as bad as Sunday was making it out and Jessica were making it out to be, but we shall see. And I think we can guess from this preview for maybe why Lucy may be a bit hated by production, or at least shown in a negative light, because I guess we're going to see her rise to infamy. We shall see. Can't wait to hear what everybody else has to say, and ta-ta for now. Oh, there's a puddle, and I'm wiping off my shoes. We are good. Okay, all is right with the world. All right, bye.
Just about had it wiped. Just about had it wiped,
he's just letting you know he cleared it up. So you can let go of it. See, there's resolution
I am
to
very
this story.
visual. Okay.
So there you go, BrandonA. There's a little more to worry about. Yes, Aaron just nailed it. Full points this week.
You know what I love about the side challenge with
What's
you
that?
guys?
What?
Is the paranoia and anxiety that's already happening from like episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys all go, oh no, I'm going to have to sing. It's like there's so much game left to play.
Yes.
Even in the very final episode, but it's just so funny to watch you guys worry about it.
Yep.
So
wiggle and squirm. Yes. So so Aaron had that element to his story. So I was in Seoul, South Korea in 2000 doing some work, and they have a drink
was it
there.
2000?
Yeah, it was. It was the fall of 2000, I believe.
Okay.
And they have a drink there called soju. I'm sure Aaron's probably had some by now, or he at least been offered some. And it's hard stuff. And I was there with a buddy named Jim, and Jim just had to try it. So we were working just super long hours, and we were cooped up in data center, 15 hours, and then we'd go out and have dinner. And Jim had to have the soju. And Jim's a big rotund guy, kind of short, but he's really, really stout, so he can pack it away. And but the soju got away from him, and we were headed back, or they were headed back. I didn't actually go out with them this night. I was just too worn out, and they started heading back, and it just overwhelmed him. So, and he was pretty far gone. So he pulled his shoe off.
Is it alcoholic? Something?
Oh, yeah. It's hard alcohol.
Oh, okay.
Hard alcohol. He pulled his shoe off and threw up in his shoe.
Honey, I'm going to slap you across the head.
And the guys that were with him were like, Jim, what are you doing? I didn't want to get it everywhere. And he made it almost all the way back to his room at the hotel. And then it hit him in another wave. And he threw up in a great big potted plant. This is how they told me the story. We were getting ready to head over to the data center the next morning. And they were like, you see that plant over there? Jim filled it up.
Why would we want to hear about
Well, it's another South Korea soju throw-up story. No. Thanks, Aaron. If you could see her face.
You are mental. You're just mental.
Well,
mental.
We might get a soju story from Aaron. Moving along. Next up, we got an email from Beth.
Aaron's not old enough to drink.
He's not? No, he still is a youngin'. Well, he might.
Did he grow up when we weren't looking?
Well,
did you turn 21 yet, Aaron?
Well, they may have different drinking age
that's
there.
Right. That's true.
The U.S.
Could be like
is
Germany.
Pretty different. Yeah. So next up, we got an email from Beth. We don't know where you're from either, Beth. Beth says, I'm an older millennial and have only ever texted the letter U instead of YOU a few times in my entire life, and I felt gross every time I did that. I think the letter U versus YOU debate has already been discussed to death, and the fact that Jeff brought it up only paints him as an out-of-touch Gen Xer. But I still love him. The current language for texting for people from all generations, but especially younger millennials and post-millennials, is not abbreviating words, but rather skipping words entirely and using emojis instead. This is where I'm completely out of my depth.
Yeah.
So here are some of my thoughts on Survivor entirely in emojis. I'll let you try to interpret
Thank you so much for that, Beth.
What I'm trying to say. Beth, you don't know how long Joanne worked on this. She said, I'm not going to spend any more time on it. And then she'd come back an hour later. Here's what I got. Read it. And then an hour later, okay, look at this and see what you think.
I never did quite get that last line.
So I'll post it in the show notes.
I tried to look everything up online, and it was just like,
oh my gosh. Let's kind of describe it real quick, and then we'll go to your translation. Okay, so we've got the number 1. We've got a silhouette of a person. We've got a palm tree on an island. We've got a bag of money and a thumbs up.
Yep.
Okay. And then there's an X.
Red X.
Somebody's face looks like they have a mustache. And then another thumbs up. Okay, so we got a man and a woman and a heart between them. We got a thumbs down. Yeah, and then there's an octopus, a knife,
and a sassy boy. I guess that's supposed. I couldn't find that one anywhere. But it's a younger guy with his hand
up, gesturing,
yeah,
like a waiter holding
out
something.
To the side. Yeah.
Okay, thumbs up, and then a heart, and then an arrow pointing to the right. An old style TV with rabbit ears. We've got the island with the palm tree again. We've got an X.
Red X.
Question mark.
Red question mark.
A strip of film, a pen,
ink pen, yeah.
And then a question mark. Okay, so let's see. What did your translation work out to be?
I put it right there.
Okay, one person on a desert island to win money, I like. Stopping the old man, in this case Paul, I like. The loving couple, I don't like. The octopus cutting sassy boy, I like. Maybe love.
That's Ken.
Yeah. Go right to the TV to watch the desert island and stop questioning the film writing.
And I just left
that
the question
last part
mark.
we weren't
like, yeah, I'm not sure about that one.
Okay.
But that was my best shot.
Good job. I think that was
you were totally not helpful at all. You were continuing to play your online game.
Yes. I was busy, say. Had some work to do.
Yeah, okay. Oh, that was not with you. Who are you kidding?
I did. I had some headshots I had to take care of.
Yeah, headshots,
I was hunting someone, stalking them in the snowy mountains.
Yes, that what you were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that's as close as Joanne could figure it. I'm not going to say we because I was of no help since neither of us use emojis.
Yeah, we don't. I can use the like on Facebook, but that's about, or a smiley face, but that's about my limit.
Yes, thanks, Beth, and I'll post that for other folks
and
probably who can do an easy translation.
To remain ignorant. That was kind of fun to do.
Caught her attention.
Just
Beth.
Went. Oh no!
I think she's got 2.5, maybe 3 hours into that one translation.
I would rather shoot myself than try to figure out the emojis to use to express.
It's anything like anything else, though. Once you get the hang of it, you got the the
the
language of shorthand down.
There's just too many.
You just have to put the effort in.
Yeah, I don't want to.
I wasn't suggesting that you should.
Yeah,
I'm saying
just saying. Not happening.
Okay.
And it wouldn't happen with you either. You're even worse than me.
I also harbor no interest in emoji speak. Yeah.
All right, but that was certainly an entertainment for me for a while.
Thanks again, Beth. Next up.
I got through it.
We got a call from Parker. Let's see what Parker thought about this episode.
Hey, it's Parker from Indiana. That was a pretty good episode, all in all. I thought that the twist was really interesting, and I'm not happy that David made sort of an alliance with Taylor. I feel like that's probably the worst person that David could have aligned with. I also really wish that Adam would have found the idol, but maybe he will in the next episode. And I am so happy that Paul went home, because that is the first vote-off point I've gotten right playing JFL. So I'm very happy about that. But I don't think that was the right move. I feel like it would have been better off for the Nexers if they would have voted out CC. Can't wait till next episode. Looks pretty good.
Good deal. Thanks, Parker. Another one who got the vote off point there. Next up, we got an email from BrandonB in Brooklyn.
Ding dong. Who is it? An epic blindside on Paul. Wow. Last week when I wanted to see Paul get voted out, I never thought it would happen the next week. The ladies on Gen X are in a little trouble because the remaining guys in their alliance won't trust them and will want revenge for their boy.
Yep.
I'm not sure if the ladies will team up with David, Cece, and the model, but David is looking to continue making moves, and he won't rest because his paranoia won't let him. Okay, the Millennial tribe will be interesting to discover who will rise to the top. Michaela has her eye on Figgy, and she is in the majority now, but she knows she wants her out as soon as possible. I didn't like how Hannah didn't respect Zeke's wishes and just leave him alone. ugh. I can't wait to see what happens next week. Oh, and I would like to offer prayers for those affected by Hurricane Matthew. Stay strong, guys. All right. Thanks, Brandon. And we certainly hope everybody's doing well. I know that we've heard from James and Shannon, and they're safe. So that's good to know.
And your mom's far enough inland that she's not.
Yeah, she's not being horribly impacted by it.
Good deal. Thanks again, Brandon. Next up, let's check in with Marla and Sarah. Oh, so do we read this before or after?
Yes, you read it before.
And Marla sent an extra note. As a gymnast, Sarah is obsessed with suggestions for people practicing on balance beams before they go on Survivor. Okay.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy. Hi, Survivor friends. This is Marla.
And this is Sarah.
With our feedback. So what'd you think of the episode this week?
It was good, but I really think that people should be practicing more on the balance beam.
All right, I agree with you, but anyway,
and they could even walk on the lines in the parking lot.
Yeah, that's a good idea too.
And they could even walk on the curb.
Yes, I agree. It would be good
to lay a board down in the backyard.
Yes, I think we're having a little trouble getting past that balance beam thing in our house. So we're just going to say thanks, and we hope you all have a wonderful week, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks, Joanne and Stacy, for all you do.
You could even walk on the back of a couch.
It's going to be a long night. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Those are all very good suggestions, except the back of the
I like your dedication and focus.
Only Zed does that.
Yeah, I don't think that's for you and me. Maybe Sarah can do that.
Yeah. You may be light enough, Sarah, but I'm not sure that would work.
No, it quickly wouldn't be an upright
Even
couch.
If I could do that, I'm not sure the sofa would recover.
It'd make a good video. Thanks again. Let's check in with Drew, find out who the winners and losers are this week.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy. Hey, everyone. This is Drew. Just about to head out for the long weekend, but I wanted to send something in quick so I didn't have to think about it tomorrow and forget. So I thought this was a pretty great episode. It's kind of funny how it so often comes down to my USB versus my vote out pick. And this time, my vote out pick was right, and that's pretty exciting for me. I just had a feeling, and I didn't think about it that much. I didn't think about all the different ways it could go or not go. I just said, I think this might happen. So actually, here's my strategy lately. Last week, I picked the top 4 safe and the next one down to go, which happened to be David. And this week, I picked the bottom 4 safe and the next one up to go, which happened to be Paul. So we'll see what I do next week. I'm starting to get kind of crazy with my strategy here. Anyway, it was a good episode. I enjoyed it. Good challenge. Some interesting back and forth there. It's kind of funny. From the very start, the last time on Survivor, there were little things about Paul, and maybe because of my bias, because of my vote out pick, I just said, oh, it's him. And then all these little things along the way, it's him. And then it ended up being him. But the thing that made me say it's him the most, obviously, was when he doomed his own game with those 2 words. Sorry, ladies. Yep. Jessica was on to him then, and I think that Ken did a great job. I'm working that all out and talking to them, and anyway, I was about to make the Ken doll joke last week, and I forgot. Then I kept thinking, I'll do it this week, and then now I see it's kind of a sore spot, so I guess I won't do that. I'm a little worried about Zeke and Adam, but, for all we know, they'll just have a mix-up and everything will be changed anyway. So the winner of the week, I think, is Ken, and partly because, he finessed Jessica, and that was great, but mostly because of his defense of the English language. Thank you, Ken. Loser of the week is Paul, because he just blew his own game, didn't even realize it. Interesting interview with him, but yeah. Okay, that's it for me, I guess, and looking forward to next week, of course. Picking up for me, so I don't know why I ever doubted. Oh, and sorry if the sound quality is kind of funny. I'm in this little booth at work, and maybe not the best acoustics in here, so somewhere else next time. Thanks a lot, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.
All right, Drew making most of his time, getting his feedback in with a little break there while he was at work. Good job.
Excellent.
I enjoyed the insight into your process and how you're making your picks. Congrats on making that work this week, and good luck next week. Next up, we got an email from Jack in California. Hi, Joanne, Stacy, and all you Survivor fans out there. That was a neat twist, having a recon with the other tribe to try and get valuable information. I personally didn't get much out of it, though. What was the reason they gave Hannah to vote out Mari? I don't know if they touched on that. So what essentially...
Yeah, I don't remember them
I think it's in Hannah's explanation when she's pestering Zeke on the beach. She said that Michelle told her, hey, we've got the numbers, right? So it's just a given. And that was enough to flip Hannah. That seemed to work for her. That's what she was just sort of hell-bent on saying to Zeke, even though he needed some space. I think that's what I got out of it. Does that sound reasonable?
Sure.
Close enough. From watching a preview for this past episode, I knew that Cece was going to take forever to get across the balance board, which is why I had Gen X going to Tribal, and they did. But I should have known that the previews are always misleading because I had Cece to go and not Paul. Me and you, buddy. And Joanne, too. As for next week, I will find it fun to watch Jeff Probst almost get voted out by a wave. Until next time. Thanks, Jack.
I like that.
Yeah, that's good. Next up, we got a call from Kenny.
Hey, guys. It's Kenny from Dallas. It was a pretty good episode this last time, but not as good as the first two. And Paul had to have realized that saying to the women that they were safe for a while was a real mistake. But I have to say that I really came to respect him after his interview with you. He was extremely candid, did not make excuses, came across really well. I'm kind of sorry he's gone now. Well, he did speak about Lucy, that there's more to her than we see. But God knows you would never realize it based upon what we're seeing. It's almost as if they had 20 people for the show, and one got sick in the airport, and they just found someone there standing by and said, hey, would you like to be on this show? Because we don't see anything of her. And when I see her sometimes, I have to kick myself that, hey, this woman's on the show. Although Paul implies that we're going to be seeing more of her in the very near future. Speaking of the very near future, I'm still worried about my USB Zeke, and I guess Adam too, because they still are on the outs in the Millennials. I hope they turn it around because I really don't like Figster and Taylor. I hope they get their comeuppance. All in all, a pretty good season, and I don't see anyone really sticking out quite yet. Ken obviously gets a lot of confessionals, and I think he has the ability to perhaps tie it all together if he could get good with some of the Millennials, because he does have strategy, he does have some insight, he just needs to maintain relationships where he doesn't turn people the wrong way, which was the implication that Paul gave. Interesting season. Take care. Bye.
Yeah, definitely Ken's one to watch, and he is getting a lot of focus, huh?
Well, and I think the millennial girls probably think he's cute, older man, or something, but he may be too old for them. But I think he's probably a little too serious for any of those girls. So.
Yeah.
And really too old, but he is nice to look so. We can't deny that.
There we go. We'll hear more about that.
We will?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. There's some couple other folks that share your opinion there. Thanks again, Kenny. Next up, we got an email from Titus in Boston.
Hello, Joanne, Stacy, and all of you Survivor fans out there. Titus here from the bustling city of Boston. Been listening for 3 seasons now and decided to jump in on the fun.
Awesome.
Joined JSFL too, and I'm not doing too shabby.
Well done. We got a little thing called a side challenge you might want to get in on next time, Titus.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, what a great episode. For my own personal JSFL benefit, I hope Zeke finds a way out of this kerfuffle. How come I can't say all that?
I don't know, but it's funny.
Kerfuffle. I said it fine when I was reading it, or when I was reading through in my head.
A little voice in your head.
Yeah,
you pronounced
and then
it.
trying to come out my mouth. Kerfuffle. And there's a lot of F's.
Excellent. Good job, Titus.
Okay. And even though first impressions pushed me away from Ken, he has gained some points in my book. And now a rhyme to pass the time. Little Miss Figgy sat on a twiggy, chilling with Taylor and Michelle. Nearby a Will lounged quiet and still, thinking his alliance is swell.
I like that.
I do too. It's very well done.
Yeah.
I hope Will uses this intel to flip the tables on the power couple and majority alliance. I'm thinking he might. Next time on Survivor, I'm not sure Purple Lucy is the dictator when she asks them not to talk to anyone else. Now, I could be wrong, but the edit has tricked us before. She probably wants to shake it up or keep some intel private. We can only wait to find out. Thanks, Joanna Stacy, for all you do. Bye.
Thanks, Titus. Reminds me of what James told us.
And welcome.
Yeah, great to hear from you. But he made me jump right into the thing that James had said. His girlfriend told him, it's not what you say,
James
it's how
Clemens.
you say it.
No, that's not what James said. James said his girlfriend said it was his tone.
Right. It's how
I
you say
remember that
it.
exactly.
Okay,
He
so
said-
you got the
Well,
verbatim
my
part.
girlfriend tells me it's not so much what I say, but my tone.
And it might-
Obviously, I
you
need
combine
to
a tone-
change my tone.
You combine a tone with Lucy's resting face there, and you might think it was
Now,
a dictator
how would you
talking
think
to
we
you.
would go straight to James Clements from that?
Because that's
You just
guidance,
said
and we've
James.
referred to that before.
Oh, jeez.
It made sense in my head.
Yeah, well,
Thanks again, Titus.
it's a good thing I know how to speak Stacy.
Let's check in with someone else who's very enamored with Ken.
Oh, okay.
Hi Joanne and Stacey, hi Survivor fans, still from the Outback here. I really enjoyed your interview with Paul this week. He came across as a much different bloke than what he did on the show. I'm not sure if the editors didn't do him any favours, but he came across pretty good on your interview. Thanks for that. Actually, I missed the first 20 minutes or so of the episode this week, and so I missed the summit that went on. It was good to hear you guys go through that. But I think it was really a missed opportunity to not put that into the 3 tribes like a few people suspected might have been happening. That would have been really interesting. I think the sooner that they merge the tribes or shake them up a little bit at least, the better it'll be, because they're really banging on about these millennials and Gen X differences, aren't they? Although it did give them an opportunity to focus on Ken in the tribal council there, and that is always a good thing. I'm not sure if getting rid of Paul over CC was the best thing they could have done for the tribe, but I like the way that Jessica and the women and David and Ken got together and did that. They did it really well. Looks like it's going to be fun next week in such a physical challenge, having the big men of the Gen Xers up against the pretty little fellas of the millennials. It'll be quite interesting to see the millennials go back to tribal council, just to see how they work it with the love couple this time around, if they keep them together or if they would do something to get rid of one of them, which I think they should. Look forward to the feedback show this week and listening to everyone's opinions, especially Liam and Sarah. It's just been really good fun listening to you guys get older season by season. Thanks, Joanne and Stacey. Happy days, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, Jill. I like that phrase, the pretty little fellows. And I'm not sure what that noise was. It may have been a bird in the background. Joanne looked at me like somehow I was doing something.
I did not.
That was causing that. So that was just a part of the background of Jill's
I
feedback.
love the stories you make up in your head. Actually, I was seeing her sitting there with a little wooden thing and using some fine grain
She was sanding
sandpaper
something that she
while
had
was-
carved?
Yeah, while she was talking.
Okay, there
See,
you
that's,
go.
That's where
With
my
a
visual
with a
went.
big knife, right?
No,
because
with
she's
a
in the
little
Outback.
bitty sandpaper.
That she carved it with a real knife.
Well, okay, whatever. I didn't go there.
Okay, all right. A movie reference. Thanks again, Jill. Let's
You're
check
going
in
back
with
to
Brad.
Dundee? Is that what
Yeah.
your reference?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's check in with Brad, see what he thought about this episode.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy. This is Brad from Los Angeles. I apologize for not calling earlier this season. I've been listening to everything. Thank you for doing what you do for the show. It makes the show that much more fun. This season has been pretty good so far. Pretty impressed. I'm not going to spend too much time recapping the last 3 episodes, since I'm sure a lot of other people will do it. What I really want to get into is 2 things. One, I was really surprised that Stacy picked Figgy as his USB. I'd love to know a little bit more about that, because it seems like last year you picked Michelle, 2L Michelle, and now you picked Figgy. So is the Stacy method of analysis for picking his USB that she's a little bit easy on the eyes? So for me, Figgy was bottom 5 for me in my analysis. So just interested in what you took from her videos and everything, her first impression, versus what you think now. And then the second thing, for this upcoming episode, based on whoever wins immunity, if you're looking at the millennials, things are kind of broken down right between Adam and Zeke on one side, and then the 4 beauties on the other side, and then kind of in the middle, you've got Will, Michaela, and Hannah. Hannah, by the way, being the most surprising person so far. I had her as an Aubrey, and then her performance in that tribal council really disappointed me. And Michaela I had as my bottom 2 for the whole season. So if you've got the 4, and then you got these other, the 2 that are on the out kind of position right now, and you got these 3 in the middle with Will pretty much good on either side, which way do you think it's going to go? Me in their position, it's clear you got to go after the beauties. the 3 have to combine with the 2 and go after the 4. And Figgy's obviously the obvious choice to break up the power couple, but do you go after, say, Michelle, since she's the one that made the move, and just make her think that they're going after Figgy? I'm curious to hear what you think on that side. And then on the Gen X side, the division has just got mucked up, right? Because they took out Paul. So you got the 3 on the one side, or who are, quote, on the outs, David and Cece and Ken. And then you've got the 2 guys, Chris and Brett. And then you've got the 3 ladies in the middle. So for me, it seems like the 3 and the 2 would combine to go after Cece, Ken, and David. But I'm interested to see what you think on that one as well. Great season so far. Looking forward to calling in, and talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, Brad.
No, I definitely think the ladies, and if you watch the extra clips, I think that will confirm that
You're talking about Gen X here?
Gen X, yes. The ladies are including Cece in their alliance.
That's the Moms Alliance.
And they've already, Lucy makes the statement that they were in an alliance of 6, and now they have a different alliance of 6.
Mm-hmm.
So, meaning that they brought Ken and David into their alliance of 6 now.
Yep.
And so that would mean that Brett and Chris are on the out.
Yep.
That doesn't mean they'll stay there, but that's what she said in the extra clip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's several good extra clips with good insights. There's all of them that reference the summit are just kind of repeats of each other, although there's a couple of nuggets in there. And Paul's interview gives some better insight and actually a completely different take than what you got in the episode on some of the stuff that happened at the summit. So
And
that's
if you
worth
haven't listened to the interview, it's worth listening to, because
think so.
Toward
And we
the
heard a couple
end,
other folks say that.
he cracked. Well, there were a couple of places he cracked me up. I don't do the laugh out loud belly laugh much, but I was really trying to hold that.
He delivered,
and you pretty much had trouble continuing with the questions.
Yeah,
because he
we got into a
cracked us up.
groove, yeah.
And told a story that we've not heard.
So let's flip over. We're working backwards in the questions there from Brad. Let's go to the Millennials. Yeah, there's Adam and Zeke, and then there's the 4 beauties. You got Will and Hannah, and who else? Oh, Michaela, right? Yeah. So I think the beauties are, in the long run, are in trouble. I'm not so sure they'll get rid of Figgy, though. And I'm not saying that just because she's my USB. I'm saying it because she's a good goat.
No, because you've already written her off in your mind.
Yeah, and I'll come to the first question Brad asked in just a second. But she might be better to keep around than Taylor, because Taylor's...
It just depends if they're looking
presence,
long-term or short-term.
Right, in his simple way of looking at things, I think it make him a good goat, but, we've seen a season where a guy like Taylor wins.
Well, I say they won't get rid of Taylor over Figgy. Figgy will go first.
You do? You think so?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe.
Because there's 2 of the main girls after her wanting her. They're willing to work with her, just so far.
They both recognize that she's a goat, too. And to hear other people talk about her, again, in the extra clips, people don't look favorably on Figgy outside of Taylor. Everybody's highlighting issues or concerns they have about her.
Exactly.
So that makes her a great goat in that sense. And in her lack of self-awareness there, at least from what we've seen, not really. Again, because you've got to win the social game, and that's really where I've shifted my analysis to go back to Brad's first question, and I cover this in the Jabex usually, is I've got a set of intelligence features, different types of intelligence, emotional intelligence, physical intelligence, body awareness, how athletic you are, things like that. So there's a range of these different intelligence features that I try to score everyone on. And for example, the lowest score for me this season was Will. I expected the least from him, and he's outperforming what I got from my judging a book by a cover. So he's not the complete doofus that I estimated him as, for sure. At the beginning of the season, the highest one was Zeke in looking at all his factors. And I'm always trying to factor in the lesson that Russell Hantz taught us, which is, or just so strongly reinforced, it's not like people didn't know it before then, it's a social game. You've got to manage the social aspects of things.
If you want the money.
Yeah, if you want to be sitting there at the end. So that's where Alice was really helpful in saying, hey, you might want to add an annoyance feature to your scoring mechanism there. And JK just made it all about whether or not they were annoying. She just zeroed in on that one thing, which is really cool, and I'm looking forward to see how that plays out through the season. But for me, so I'll score everyone out, and what I initially did, and was always wrong, was I just took whoever scored the highest for me. And, of course, that could end up being a mistake because, maybe there's some redemption for Zeke. Maybe he'll find his way through this, and he'll partner up with Michaela, and they'll turn the tables on the beauties. So I've gotten to where, like last season, I avoided that, and I looked to the middle where someone is balanced. I was trying to find someone who's balanced on all these different, the most well-rounded on all the different intelligence scores. And Figgy was in the middle, bottom middle, somewhere in there. And that bartender thing, if you're a good bartender, you've got a social game.
You've got people skills.
Yeah, if you're an employed bartender. I mean, I'm sure you can be a bad bartender. And that was that's the same kind of thing that pulled me, made the final determination between 4 or 5 different people I could pull from in the middle last season. And unfortunately for me, I picked Figgy. I didn't realize she didn't have it all there. So I misread that book.
Yeah,
so more impressed by Will, way less impressed by Figgy.
Yeah, and his whole chart thing he talks about in the Jadik Part 1.
Anyone's welcome to see it. I can
you can
share the spreadsheet with you if you want,
or listen to that there.
Sure, yeah, it's more detail, probably more than you wanted to know. Okay, so there's the answers to your questions. Thanks, Brad. Next up, we got an email from Josh, the plush moose from Massachusetts. Dear Joanne and Stacy. Oh, and it wasn't just because she was easy on the eyes. I actually, even though I favor brunettes, Figgy doesn't do anything for me. So, there. I'll just leave it at that. Josh says, Dear Joanne and Stacy, this week's episode was good, but it left me feeling somewhat unsatisfied. From the twist that wasn't, to players exposing big flaws in their games, to missed opportunities, it left me feeling like the episode could have been better somehow. I think you're in good company based on the feedback we've heard so far there. This week's observation. I want to like Hannah, but she's making it really difficult. Her conversation with Zeke, followed by her use me confessional, highlight her lack of social awareness. She'll be a goat at best if she lasts that long. Hearing Stacy do his me imitation of Hannah gave me a good idea of how Beaker from the Muppet Show would sound if he ever hit puberty. That's good. Paul was the poster child of an alpha recruit. Talked a good game, didn't know the game, talked himself out of the game.
Actually, he said he was a fan for a long time.
Yeah. I'm worried for Ken. He's great in confessionals and clips, strong in challenges, an asset around camp, should be doing well, but doesn't connect at all with the alpha core of the Gen X tribe. I really wish he had gone to the summit instead of David. Yeah, that would have been interesting. Probably more interesting than seeing David pander to everyone on the other tribe.
David was more predictable.
Yeah. Speaking of David, I think people are mistaken when they compare him to Cochran. I think what they're doing, though, with that, just sorry for an aside, it's Cochran 1.0. You go back to South Pacific and see, I can remember how frustrated, just annoyed, angered I was with Cochran after expecting so much out of him, given what he seemed to offer in the judge a book by the cover stage, right? And I have that same sense, that Private Upham sense of David here. Okay, Josh continues. He's an odd man out on his tribe who gets nervous easily, openly searched for an idol on day one, calmed down somewhat when he found one, was eager to flip, and didn't have a strategic social game. That's Ty. Okay, that's brilliant. That's a good observation. I like that. Point taken. Good point. Seeing Adam walk past an idol is foreshadowing that David will find another idol if he makes it to Millennial Beach. Well, I didn't consider that. That's interesting. I'm sorry, but sharing PB&J with people from the other tribe isn't a twist. I agree with you there. That was a bit of a misdirect for sure. CC will get most of the blame, but the challenge showed that we need a swap soon to avoid Gen X getting Matt Singh. I think we know Lucy's character arc. Purple, shushing, Van Pelt. Okay. I wish Monty Jeff had haggled out the whole trade before asking Gen X for their blessing. They might have gone for it if it seemed more like punishment. If there is a swap, the Gen Xers who swap are going to really miss that fishing gear. Yeah, that probably would have made it a little more interesting. Yeah. The editors got me. When Jeff asked if anyone wanted to play an idol and the camera cut to David, I started yelling, "Sit, Ubu, sit," at my TV. When they showed the Next Time on Survivor clip of Chris holding Taylor during the challenge, it looked like a parent giving swimming lessons to his child.
That's true.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. Anyway, that's all I have for now. Thanks, Joanna and Stacy, for all you do. I can't wait to hear what the other fans have to say. And thank you, Josh. Cracked us up as always. Okay, let's check in with JayWaffles and see what he thought about this episode.
Hello, Joanna and Stacy and all the Survivor fans at home. This is JayWaffles from Canada with some thoughts about Week 3, Survivor, Gen X versus Millennials. Jumping right in, that after tribal scene was particularly good as it showed not only how clueless Tinder date was to the overall game, but also how Hannah struggled with writing Mari's name down. Perhaps I need to change my tune about Michelle's gameplay after all. I also have to commend my boy Zeke for keeping his cool when Hannah went into a Category 4 frenzied downward spiral, threatening to take the whole beach with her, if not for Adam's gentle request to just leave him be. I do feel bad for her, and she did have a point as Mari was going home regardless, but to paraphrase a great man, a house divided against itself cannot stand. And the Misfits are truly showing some cracks in the foundation. Now, despite a great episode, I'm struggling to come up with a narrative on my thoughts on this week's show, so I just wanted to share two things. Stacy, I really appreciated your idea of a tax that you have to pay to speak with associates or colleagues. This is nothing short of brilliant and really made me chuckle, as I know of countless instances where this is true. Not sure if others are guilty of this, but I've been known to approach my day at the office as it were a day on Survivor. Who are my alliances today? Will I be blindsided by a vote out? And why is Jeff Probst my boss? Trust me, it's a fun way to kill some time. I also hope that this will be the last of the forced comparisons between Gen X and Millennials. OMG, they text totally different. We get it. Was anyone else surprised that Ken loved the beauty of language and felt that listening to records was the only way to enjoy music? Back to your point, Stacy, how much is a tax to get through that pretentious nonsense? I also found it funny how all the members who always spell out YOU when texting also opted to vote CC out by writing just the two letters down. As for next week's prediction, awesome. Who knows at this point? The challenges have been back and forth, so the tribes are fairly evenly matched, which is nice, but it also makes it difficult to choose who to vote out. I may need to go to the scientific eeny, meeny, miny, mo method, as it's probably better than what I'm thinking. Have a great week. Bye.
Thanks.
Right,
that's
awesome.
Brilliant. I like that insight there. Yeah, I remember seeing that. It just didn't, it's like I'm aware of it, but you picked up on it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they're into efficiencies, huh? Those crazy, those wacky Gen Xers then.
No, I think they just didn't know how to spell her name, so...
Yeah, it's just easier. Could be that too. All right, thanks again, JayWaffles. Let's check in with Rhonda. She says I forgot to mention thanks to Bill in Beaver Creek. All right, so
yeah, she forgot to put it in her audio, but she wanted
Rhonda
us
sent
to
in her feedback as what? Angry feedback from Rhonda.
Yeah, angry Rhonda.
And I flinched when I saw that. I was like,
feedback from angry Rhonda.
Is she angry at me? But no, she's not. So I was greatly relieved. Let's see who Rhonda was angry with.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy. Hi, everyone. It's Rhonda from Portland. So I know Jeff Probst doesn't listen to this podcast, but I just have to get this off my chest. Dear Jeff Probst, YOU aren't young, and you may be hip, but this is ridiculous. YOU had the most successful reality show that was highly respected, and YOU are turning it into a mockery that I gotta say I'm almost embarrassed to be participating in. And that's it. And hey, anybody want to guess why I haven't been calling in for the last 2 weeks? Because you'd be hearing this. Maybe I'm just angry because I'm a Gen Xer. Maybe that's it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just angry because I work hard and I don't get. This is so stupid, you guys. This is so stupid. I can't even enjoy the show. It is distracting me so much. You know that I didn't even watch Survivor this week until like Thursday around midnight because I just don't care. They have ruined it for me. And there's Ken. They have ruined it for me, even though there is Ken, who is in a alliance with David. And anyone who's been listening for a while knows that I like to look at the pretty dumb guys, who, by the way, Ken's not that dumb. And then I like to watch the strategy of the strategic guys. So, it's pretty good for Ronda. And I don't even care. I don't even have anything good to say. I really don't have anything good to say. What else can I say? I don't know. I bet Stacy's going to edit out that, I'm enjoying the feedback, though. I think Figgy is really stunningly gorgeous. There's a positive thing to say. I think Figgy is stunningly gorgeous, and I hope they vote her out because she's really cocky, too. But yeah, she's very, very pretty. And I like Zeke, and I like Adam, and that's it. So I'll talk to y'all next week, or not. I don't know. Okay, bye-bye.
I'm just relieved she wasn't angry at me. So.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, stick with it. Some of those strategists might make a play for it soon, and we wouldn't want you to miss that.
That's right.
Because it's going to be very rewarding when some of the comeuppance is delivered, if indeed that does happen. All right. Trying to keep you on the hook.
Well, and besides, since Jeff's a boomer, he's not really a Gen Xer, so he's talking like he is. And the truth is I know Gen Xers that kind of think the world owes them something too. That's more, falls into the millennial category.
You're describing like Marla was talking about. This is somewhat youth, not the description of a generation. And
yeah. And it's the
Gen
person.
Xers. What was one of the movies? Slackers. Clerks. I mean, all this kind of stuff. Yeah, his characterization was off. But again, they use these ideas to help pull in an audience. So I try to make peace with that as soon as I can and let go of it, so I don't invest that angry energy. I don't want you to do that either, Rhonda.
I don't fit in a box. Never did. Never will.
Well, there you always got that too. There's there's a reason stereotypes work in some cases,
That's what
but
makes
in a lot
me
of
unique.
A lot of cases they
Good,
don't.
Bad, or indifferent.
Okay, all right. Me. Next, thanks, Rhonda. Next up, we got an email from KittyCat from Virginia. Hello, Joanna, Stacy, and all Survivor fans. Me. Warming up my pipes.
Sing it.
Me. What would KittyCat it would be? Me. Warming up my pipes for the side challenge and imitating the unfortunate Hannah. Enough said. All right, thanks, KittyCat. See, there
I like
you go.
That. I can see her do the fingers.
Yeah.
Enough said.
Yeah, there. Sometimes it's just a brief little note that really nails it for the feedback. Thanks for that, KittyCat. Okay, let's check in with Joe, see what he thought about this episode.
Hello, Joanne and Stacy and all Survivor fans. Joe from Huntersville, North Carolina. Wow. What an episode. Who knew such a mild-mannered hard worker such as Paul would get blindsided? Who knew belittling and denigrating women would be the end of his Survivor career? Well, I think the women on the Gen X tribe did. Good for them. So, this blindside could be a double-edged sword. Paul was a major contributor in the challenges. The people left on the Gen X tribe are unfortunately no match for the Millennials, but good riddance. So, on the Millennial tribe, I thought Will was just a follower. I wasn't aware he was the fourth leg in the Triforce. Also, my opinion of Hannah came down a few notches. She is shaping up to be a good goat or llama. Figgy seems to be a major coattail rider. Sorry, Stacy. Jay seems like he's the brains of the operation. I have a feeling that Zeke and Adam are on the bottom. I hope that changes. I like them both. Back at the Gen X tribe. Still can't get a read on Lucy, but Ken is getting a good edit. I don't think he's getting a winner's edit, but he seems to be much more likable after this episode. Speaking of good edits, what about the one David is getting? He seems to be getting a redemption arc. And really, Brett, Chris, and Sunday, they're not getting any edit at all. Sometimes I forget that they're even in the game. Well, those are my thoughts for this week. Hope all is well. Oh, and Joanne, listen to the sound of my voice. As I count from 3 to 1, you will become alert and awake. 3, 2, 1. You said my voice would make a good hypnotist. Take care.
I think so.
Good deal. Thanks, Joe. Hey, speaking of someone else with a great voice, let's check in with Paul.
Hey, Paul, Louisiana here. And for starters, all I can say after listening to that last feedback episode is thanks, Shay. That was quite a compliment, but I only ever hear plain old me when I hear my feedback played. So this time I listened intensely and was embarrassed to hear that my nose was whistling throughout everything that I said. Yeah, that was pretty. And then there's the icing on the cake as well, because I said that Chet dived into the water instead of dove. How these things come out of my mouth, I'll never know, but trust me, Shay, you sound wonderful. So I've blown my nose, and I'll start with the fact that it's early on in the season, so I'm still working out personalities for each player. But I'm really liking Adam because he's not fitting into the stereotype that I'll get into later on. Right now, I want to discuss Hannah, who is far less of a person, let alone a player, than I thought she'd be. Apparently, my first impression before I saw her video was correct, but that whole scene between she and Zeke had me yelling at the TV. Well, actually, it was Hannah who I was screaming at, but you get my drift. Wow. If you want to know how not to handle a situation, just rewatch that. She made it much worse. That's all she did. Seeing this side of her tells me that she won't last much longer. Too much drama there. And we still have no Lucy in this edit. We're lacking information on some of these players, and I think it has to do with the fact that there are 20 people to deal with. It's just too many to provide a well-rounded episode because you can't cover them all when you're trying to set up a story arc for the episode as well. Even Michelle was missing this week, and she was key to our last episode. I feel better with a cast of 18 because it makes splitting the edit easier. Also, can Figgy get any worse as a player? She and her gang are perfect stereotypes of what older people think of when they hear the term millennials. Nothing you can say will convince me that Figgy and Taylor weren't cast because they fit the millennial stereotype. And in all honesty, I think there are plenty more than those two that were cast for that reason. But you know, I'm loving Ken. He's nothing like what I expected him to be. I'm thinking that he was the odd kid in grade school that ended up becoming a very handsome guy by the time high school ended. He just seems a bit, scarred? That might be too strong a word to describe it, but I feel that he's holding on to those insecurities that he had to deal with as a teenager. I hope he lasts because I'd love to be able to pick him as my new USB. So was keeping Cece a good choice or not? Well, she accomplished her goal at the challenge, which says a lot about her spirit, but there was a huge price to pay for it, and hopefully she and the rest of the tribe understand that time is the most important factor in challenges, and that sometimes you just have to swallow your pride and say, you know what, you can probably do this faster than I can. I still like Cece, and I'm willing to give her the benefit of the doubt this time around, but this was a very serious first strike against her, which brings me to my pick to go. Well, I'm not picking David again, so let's say either Lucy or Zeke. And I hate to pick Lucy because she's finally going to say something 4 episodes into the game, which would really make for a super bad edit if she also gets voted out right after she's opened her mouth. Add to that the fact that the preview was telling us that she's now a dictator, which could just be the editors pulling the wool over our eyes, but there's always that one episode where they telegraph who's going, so maybe this is it. But then there's Zeke, and oh man, although I really like him, the numbers seem to be completely against him. The way I see it, the only way he stays is if Gen X loses the challenge, which is entirely plausible. If you're going to force me to pick between these two, I'm going to say Zeke, but only because I feel he's the far more obvious choice on his tribe. I guess that's it for me. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, Paul. No whistling there. Good job.
All right. Yeah, you're always doing that to me. You're like pointing to my nose. I can hear you. Stop breathing.
Well, sometimes it might be whistling too.
Whistling? Or no.
You're like,
stop,
I can't hear
stop,
anything.
Your fingers are moving.
Yeah.
I was going to pick it up. Stop, your fingers are moving. You're pushing on my arm.
I do that because you're screwing with my attention. You're be talking and you emphasize every syllable with the finger jab.
Well. Oh, poor baby.
Do you see a way? What about what Paul said? Do you see a way back for Zeke?
Sure. Anybody can come back. I really don't think they're going to stay with. I think they are going to go after Figgy and break that up. I think they would be silly not to.
The thing is, you're better off knocking out Michelle.
I know
She's
that.
the smarter one.
I agree 100%.
She's the bigger threat.
But I don't think they know that yet.
Zeke knows that. Adam knows that. Will knows that.
Zeke, in one of his confessionals, is loving Jay.
Yeah, he says he's dangerous to win.
Yeah, he doesn't think that Hannah or Adam can help him get very far, and that supposedly he's going to look toward Jay because he said he would vote for Jay, but that'd be a reason not to take him. But if Jay wanted to carry him along, then and Jay is a little concerned about the whole Taylor and Figgy thing and how the other tribe will view them for keeping a power company. Couple and looking bad company, a power company.
That's good. It just rolled out.
Yeah, it just rolled out.
Yeah, but Adam was making great points to Michaela. Michaela said, "Yeah, I'm going to take those under consideration about the danger that is Michelle."
Well, and Michelle said she didn't want to get rid of Adam, so that's why I think Taylor and Figgy aren't as secure as they're making us believe.
I don't really have the sense that they're making us believe they're secure.
Oh, okay.
They're making us believe that they're annoying.
Taylor and Figgy are making us believe they're secure.
Right, but they lack a certain amount of self-awareness in how they're being perceived by others. From what we're given in the edit. Can't say that's the complete conclusion. But
maybe I should have said they're not as secure as they think they are.
Yeah. I think there's still a way back for Zeke, for sure, and Adam, for that matter. So it just depends on how things play out. And you were right. We can see that.
Yay! What was I right about?
There is going to be a reward challenge. So this will be episode 4. Will be the first one we get a reward challenge, and then we get the immunity challenge.
Well, I was thinking it was about time.
You were correct. You said that in the recap show, and indeed that is the case. That's what we have to look forward to. So that'll be fun.
Alrighty, 2 challenges.
2 challenges, yeah.
Awesome.
So I think I'm with Paul on 20's too many. I've kind of always thought that.
Yeah.
I believe even they thought that in the beginning, right? Like with Palau, they knocked the 2 out right from the get-go in that season.
Yeah, I think 18 should be max.
Right.
And occasionally throw in a season of 16.
Where you get to see more of the people.
Right.
Granted, they have to have people that can give them something of quality, and I think maybe
they don't always know who those people are.
Well, yeah, right? Like you can see they thought David was going to be one thing, and he's turned out to be the complete opposite of that. Although, yeah, like several people said they're definitely painting him on a redemption arc right now. That was interesting to say that he might end up with that idol over there. I didn't see that coming. I really thought it's going to be Adam or Zeke, and most likely Adam, since they showed Adam walking by it.
I kind of like.
They could have shown anyone who walked down that path, and
they
showed us Adam. So I got to think Adam's going to find it eventually.
I don't know. I hope he does.
Or it could have could be the other thing, which is, hey, it's right here along the path to get tree mail. So be aware.
Like, hello,
they just might have randomly chosen him.
You can see it walking by.
Yeah.
If you look.
Okay, so the consensus is that this wasn't as great as the second episode, but it's still solid, and for the most part, except for how angry Rhonda is, people are enjoying it.
I thought after interviewing with Paul, I would like to see him sing, perform sometime.
I thought the same thing, so yeah. That's why I asked him what the name of his band was, Haywire KW, Key West, because I think there's more than one Haywire. And so, yep, there are videos out there where you can see those guys singing cover songs. So,
alrighty.
Yeah, I'll point you to that so you can check it out. Thanks, everybody who participated in this week's listener feedback show, sharing your thoughts and predictions. And we really enjoyed it. You gave us things to think about, make us say, to quote Arsenio Hall. And you cracked us up, too. What? So we also want to thank James in South Carolina for your donation. We appreciate it very much, especially knowing all the things that are going on for you and the challenges you're dealing with right now. I don't even know how you found the time. But
that's right.
Thank you. And he had sent us a note that prior to evacuating from the hurricane, they watched Survivor. Now that's a diehard fan. Yeah, good deal.
Don't forget to get your picks in before the deadline on Wednesday at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, and we do hope that all of you who are impacted by Matthew will be safe, and know that our thoughts and prayers are with you. I'm sure a lot of us have family or friends that are affected, even if they're not in the path. So, and also, we hope you are safely back in your homes to watch your favorite TV show by Wednesday.
Or at least safe and able to watch. Yes.
Yeah. So, okay, everybody have a great week.
Have a good one.